Hello and welcome to my channel Making Crafts. Today I am participating in the May Day celebration card collab, and in the description below you'll find links to everyone else's videos who is participating as well. And so for this one I am going to be making a quick little card that also has a gift attached to it. So I'm starting out by making a little cone, and you just start out by rolling your paper up, and this paper was about 3 1/4 wide, and so then I started rolling, then I trimmed it off to the right length when I was happy with how the cone looked. And so you start out with your bottom just being more pointed, and you let the top be wider, and so you just make a little cone. And so this little cone is going to be a little paper clip, so that when the person receives the card they can actually take this cone off, and they can use it as a bookmark in their journal, or a bookmark in their planner, or even just a little bookmark in a book that they're reading. So right now I'm just inking around it. I am going to ink this whole card with the soft suede from Stampin' Up. And so now I'm just adding the paper clip to a little piece of paper that matches what I made the cone out of. And I'm taking my Fabri-Tac glue, and if you don't have Fabri-Tac you could use hot glue for this, but I prefer Fabri-Tac because I'm always getting burned with the hot glue, so this works better for me, and the Fabri-Tac holds just like hot glue does. It does take a little bit longer to dry, so you can see I'm pressing it down with my bone folder and make sure that it adheres really well so that it doesn't come loose, and it does take a few minutes for it to take hold, so just keep that in mind if you're using the Fabri-Tac. So then, as I'm showing you here, it will just clip on a little card. And it's going to clip on our card and be able to clip on your whatever you want to use it in. So now I've cut out with using my Silhouette Cameo, and if you have a die cutting machine or anything that you can get, or you can even buy flower stems and things from different locations, and you could use that instead. But I cut out these little pieces of greenery from a file that I had on the Silhouette Design Store, and so I've just cut these out to go inside of this cone, and I'm just trying to add some greenery just to give a little bit of background to this. And so the paper that I'm using today is by Die Cuts with a View, and it is the Primrose, and this is just a cardstock pack, and it comes with 48 sheets, and some of it's glittery, some of it's vintagey looking, and I really like this pack, and I've used it for other cards, several other cards that I've made. And so all the paper on this card, the decorative paper, is from this pack, and then I'm just using a white card base, just your little standard size. I think it's 5 1/2 by maybe 4 1/4. It's just your regular size little card base, and so I'm just adding greenery, and now I'm just adding a little bit to hang over the front. And so I just want to add, right now it's not looking really good. I know it looks kind of rough, but as it comes along, as you add the flowers and things, it gets a little better. So I'm just adding some greenery hanging down, but I'm also going to be adding some lace around the bottom, around the top of the cone. So this is just some ivory lace that I have. And so once I hold the lace up, I realize that my greenery is hanging down too far. So it's not a big deal just to raise it up and just snip a little bit of it off. And so then I'm just using Fabri-Tac again, since I am gluing lace on or fabric. Anytime I do that, I use Fabri-Tac. So if you don't, once again, if you don't have Fabri-Tac, you could use your glue or your hot glue, whatever you have that can hold fabric on. So I'm just adding a little lace there. And then I'm going to start arranging the roses to see how it looks. And so my cone was getting a little full from where I'd added all the greenery, so I had to just use my bone folder to press it down again. Once I arranged the roses, I felt like there was a little bit of a gap behind there, so I just added a few more little pieces of greenery in between the other greenery. So I had 3 pieces, and so in between each piece I added a little bit more, so it'd be poking through and kind of covering up some of the white from the cone. And so I just added that so that it would just be a little bit fuller cone, and then I'm just adding the roses. And these roses were made using a die that I had and using my Big Shot, and it's just a miniature rose die, and just rolled them up, and they're really easy to make, and I love these little roses. I think they're so pretty. And so if you don't have anything like that, you could just buy some little flowers to add to it. And so now I am going to just add a little ink to the flowers, and then I'm going to ink the card front. And so I cut that at 4 by 5 1/4. And so the reason I'm doing the cone is this is in celebration of May Day. And so part of the collab was to research May Day. And so I found that in like the 19th and 20th century, people would put a cone of flowers on someone's door or a basket of flowers. And then I think they would say May basket, and then they would run. And so then when you opened your door, there was a surprise of flowers out front, and so in the cone or in the little basket. So I thought, you know, with this card, I wanted to add this cone to the front, and I thought about gluing it down. And then I thought, in celebration of May Day, why don't I make the little cone of flowers a way that the person can keep them and use them? So I thought by making it this way, they have something they can take off the card, and this could be a birthday card, this could be anything, just a thinking of you card, but that way they have a little gift that they can use for quite a long time. This should hold up for quite a while. So now just to the card front, I'm adding some ribbon that I have, and this ribbon is a very vintagey feel ribbon. It's got little ruffles on each side, so it's very thick ribbon. So I'm going to have to, I do later show you how I glue it down, just to make sure that it does hold. And now I'm taking a look. I had this little bow made from some burlap, not burlap, excuse me, from some brown little cord that I had. And so I was going to add it to the front of the card, but then I realized it would look so good on the cone. So I decided to change my mind, not put it on the ribbon, but to put it on the cone, because then when they take the cone off, it's going to be even more decorated. So now I'm using Fabri-Tac, and what I did was I made sure to add Fabri-Tac to the ribbon edges so that it will hold on to the card front. And so, so then when I attach it, I'm going to press down really hard, and I'm going to use my bone folder and press up under the ribbon. Now, I did not glue the ribbon to the card front as far as the decorative piece. As you can see, when I put my bone folder in there, you can see that there's a really good gap, and that's because we're going to hang the cone on that ribbon, so we don't want to glue it down or our little cone won't fit. Okay, I also stamped this little sentiment and cut it out. I just fussy cut it out, and I stamped it with chocolate chip from Stampin' Up. And it does look more like it's black in the video, but it is a chocolate chip, and I was just going with the browns that was in the background of the paper. And then I'm just adding some little ivory pearls to the ribbon just to decorate it up some, since I did not add a bow there. And as I look at the card, as I play around with it, I kind of feel like I like it, but I thought it was a little empty. So I decided to add a little bit more of the greenery to the card so that it fills it up a little bit more, and just so it's not one-sided. I kind of felt like the card was one-sided with the cone on the one side. So I'm just adding this little piece of greenery that I cut out, and I'm just attaching it. And so I laid it where I wanted to have it, and then I just added the glue as you can see, bit by bit. That way it stays where I want it. And then I made another little rose, the same little ivory color, and added it to the greenery. And then I'm attaching the cone to the card as well. And I really love how this card turned out. And I did decide at the end to ink around on the white just to frame it out some, and I inked it with soft suede. And so I think that really helps frame out the card. So at the end, I will have a close-up photo of the card so you can see what it looks like. And please be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to share my video. And thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and bye.